Hey guys, welcome back to BasedMMA. In this video, guys, I'm gonna be talking about Merab. And originally, guys, I was not planning on making a video about this. Honestly, I wasn't gonna make a video until after UFC Singapore, but some of Merab's recent comments, I just had to talk about it. I just had to talk about it because Merab is clearly delusional. He's clearly a cuck, and he's losing his mind. And I know other YouTubers have already kind of made videos talking about the whole Merab situation and him not wanting a title shot and anything. But for all of you guys that maybe perhaps don't know the context behind the Merab and the Aljamain Sterling situation, is that Merab, he's a contender in the bantamweight division. Perhaps the number one contender. He's coming off a very dominant win over Peter Yan. Aljamain Sterling was the former champion of the bantamweight division. Obviously, he now lost to Sean O'Malley. And yeah, guys, so pretty much the thing is that Aljamain Sterling and Merab are like BFFs, they're best friends, and they don't want to fight each other. And Aljamain Sterling, prior to losing to Sean O'Malley, was saying that regardless of winning, whether he won or lost, he was going to move up to 145 to give his friend Merab a chance to fight for the title and become champion, right? But now the thing is that Aljamain Sterling lost to Sean O'Malley, and right away Aljamain Sterling said he wanted a rematch and that potentially he's gonna fight for the 135 belt again, and perhaps he needs to rethink whether moving up to 145 is the right decision. So clearly the guy's now backtracking on his word that he was gonna move up to 145 regardless of the outcome of his past fight. But now that he's lost, he's now saying like, nah, I'm gonna stay at 135 and I want the rematch. And Merab comes out and says this week, he's like, oh well, I should fight for the title next. I should fight for the title next. But if Aljamain Sterling wants a rematch, then I'll let him fight for the rematch, and now I'll wait more than a year if I have to. That is so pathetic, guys. That is so pathetic. And like I said, I know a lot of YouTubers are talking about this. I know a lot of YouTubers made videos about, I'm specifically talking about like MMA Guru. I saw his video yesterday, and I agree with everything he said in that video. I agree. I just think that Merab's delusional. He's pathetic because clearly this is a one-way friendship, because Aljamain Sterling, like he's not honoring his word of what he said in saying that he was going to move up to 145 regardless of the outcome. Now he's saying he still wants to stay at bantamweight, and Merab was going to be the next in the title. In my opinion, guys, hot take, and I've gotten in arguments in the comments with people on Twitter and stuff like that, but in my opinion, I don't really believe that Merab is the number one contender, guys. I really don't believe it. I believe he still needs one more win, and that's why in a lot of my videos when I talk about future matchups, I always bring up that they should make Merab versus Henry Cejudo, because I feel like that should be the number one contender. Because like Merab beat up Peter Yan, that regardless of what you think, Peter Yan was coming off a 2-fight losing streak. Regardless of what you think of the decision with Aljamain Sterling, regardless of the decision with Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan was coming off 2 losses, and in my opinion, Merab still needs another win. And like I said, like Merab is not a guy to be calling the shots. This is not a UFC superstar that can say, oh, I'll just wait, and oh, actually UFC, now I want my title shot, can you give me my title shot? No, the UFC is not going to care. They're going to move on. They're going to give favorable matchups to Sean O'Malley. And I know a lot of people think that Merab would destroy Sean O'Malley. In my opinion, I think Sean O'Malley would have a very good chance of winning. I know a lot of people would probably disagree with that take, but in my opinion, I think Merab's pathetic, and I think he's delusional. I think the guy's incredibly delusional. He needs to stop. He needs to stop doing everything his girlfriend does. He needs to stop waiting to see what Aljamain Sterling does, because at the end of the day, like the other YouTubers said, like Merab has his own career to look out for, and the thing is that now he's basing off his career on whether Aljamain Sterling decides to stay in the bantamweight division or whether he decides to move up, which is incredibly pathetic. And in my opinion, I think Merab is potentially ruining his career by just holding up the division, just holding up. And this idea that he thinks that now, oh, Sean O'Malley now wanted to fight for the title next. Absolutely not. When you had the opportunity to fight Aljamain Sterling, you did not take it. He did not take it. And all of a sudden now he wants to fight for the title. That's not going to happen. So I think Merab is delusional. I don't think this guy's going to fight for the title, to be honest. I think he's going to have to fight one more fight. He's either going to have to fight, I think he's going to have to fight Henry Cejudo. I mean, that's the most likely fight that he'll have to, the most likely fight that will happen next. Like, I think Corey Sandhagen has a better argument to be next after Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera, which is not confirmed, but most likely we're assuming that the UFC is going to make Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera 2. In my opinion, I think Corey Sandhagen should be next. Now, I know that it does kind of change things. For example, let's say Marlon Vera ends up winning against Sean O'Malley in December. Marlon Vera becomes champion. I mean, are they going to run that back? Corey Sandhagen versus Chito Vera 2, you know, because obviously Corey Sandhagen absolutely destroyed Chito Vera. So, you know, it does kind of make the division a little weird. But in my opinion, I think Merab versus Henry Cejudo is the fight to make next. And I think that fight should happen like soon. Like, I'm talking about November, December. That fight should take place either in one of those cards, UFC 295 or UFC 296. But Merab is just a dork, man. He's an absolute dork. And like the fact that he's basing off his career on whether Aljamain Sterling decides to leave or not. Like, no, bro. You need your goal. Merab's dream is to become a champion. I'm guessing that's his dream. His dream is to become champion, to become the best fighter in the world. And I get it. I respect that he has a good friendship with Aljamain Sterling, that it's his training partner. I get it. He supports him. He wants Aljamain Sterling to have success. That there's nothing wrong with that. He's not a cook for that, you know. He's a good friend. He's a good friend. But this idea now that because Aljamain Sterling has decided that he doesn't want to move up to featherweight, right? That potentially is not a good decision. And that, you know, Aljamain Sterling now wants a rematch with Sean O'Malley. That you're going to hold up your career and you're going to just sit on the sidelines and think that there's going to be a title shot waiting for you is absolutely delusional. And that's not going to happen, guys. That's not going to happen. And this, I've heard people defending Merab saying that, no, he deserves a title shot. Yeah, he deserves his title shot. But let's be honest, like, title shots have expiration dates. If you don't fight, someone's gonna come up and they're gonna get your title shot, especially with somebody like Merab style that is not very exciting, that is a guy that just spams takedown. Like, the UFC are gonna be like, man, do we really want Merab to potentially beat Sean O'Malley? Absolutely not. So they're not gonna give him favorable matchups. And like I said, I just think Merab needs to start looking out for his own career. I get it. He has a good friendship with Aljamain Sterling. But Aljamain Sterling has other plans. And clearly Aljamain Sterling is putting his career first over his friendship, because he could have been like, you know what? I lost. I said that I was going to move up to featherweight and I'm actually going to do it. But no. After the fight, he was like, no. Actually, I think I won the rematch and I think I could get my belt back. So that just kind of tells you where Aljamain Sterling's priorities are and where Merab's priorities are. But anyway, guys, that was just kind of my take on the matter. Please let me know down in the comments below what you think of the whole Merab and Aljamain Sterling situation. Do you think Aljamain Sterling should honor what he had said and move up to featherweight? Do you think Merab should just fight for the title and stop being a little cook? Let me know down in the comments below, guys. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.